We are here to do one simple thing today: climb hills.
Whoa, what? What about that for a view? I've made a trip up to North Wales to meet up with Nick and his dad Paul. They're showing me around the roads and the very rough lanes of Llangollen and the Dee Valley, and we have come up here to do a ride that is potentially maybe the hardest 100-kilometer ride in the UK, or at least the hilliest. 3,300 meters of elevation in 100 kilometers. Granted, some of the roads are a little bit iffy, maybe not suitable for a massive event, but certainly one for the enthusiast, as Nick put it. Not gonna lie, it's actually easier to show you the descents because the climbs are nothing short of 25%, and it's really hard to hold the GoPro and breathe and keep your bike in a straight line and do at least 300 watts just to stay moving.
And so we parted Llangollen to begin a 100-kilometer voyage across the mountains. Boy, did I have very little idea what we had in store, but I was very excited to get into it.
To be fair, I've actually got a chance now to because every time we go uphill, I'm like and every time we go downhill, I'm like just the same face, but different heart rate. Hey, what's this next climb?
This next climb is Church Hill.
I thought it was. But where exactly are we now?
Glencairdiog.
In that little valley?
In that little Cairdiog valley, yeah. Yeah. This is the hardest climb around, like most people will say.
Yeah, I've unfortunately ridden this one already. I know what's coming.
Yep, Church Hill. It is one of the hardest climbs around, apparently. And I'd already ridden it once before. 1.75k at 11.5%. I want to give a quick shout out though to Paul and Nick, the father and son duo. Nick put in a lot of time and effort to create this route. A lot of time spent on Google Maps and spreadsheets, and also spent many a long ride on these climbs. Nick's been riding bikes on and off for 17 years, and he's a very, very strong cyclist. I hope he doesn't mind me saying. He can do 6 watts per kilo for 5 minutes, 5.1 watts per kilo for 15 minutes. A long-time contributor to the cycling community and being part of Backpedal. I'm sure I can echo what we all say in that we are very glad to have Nick in our community. So a bit of appreciation to Nick. But let's get back to the video and to the top of Church Hill.
Uh-oh.
We came up this 2 weeks ago. It's a nice climb as well because of the hairpins. Double back.
Oh!
Hey, it's Pride of the Brave man. Not his car though, is it?
So as you can see, these descents are quite technical. And I remember I've shown descents like these on the channel before. And lots of you that don't live in the UK, you think they're quite scary. And they're not easy to ride, let me tell you. Very uneven surfaces, tight corners, high hedges. We were descending into a valley and a town/village called Glencairdiog.
Now, Nick does assure me that these are roads we're riding on today.
And in this little area was basically some of the steepest climbs in succession I think I have ever done in my life.
So to give you a bit of context as to what we're doing today, a couple of years ago, a band of climbers created this kind of challenge to see how much you could climb in a 100-kilometer route. But there was a catch, or a couple of rules rather. 2 important ones is you can't go over the same road twice, even if it's the other side of that road. And the other one is it has to be less than 100 kilometers, but ideally as close as possible. We're doing well, to be fair. We've done 40k, 2 hours exactly, and 1500 metres.
Nice.
So at this point, we're only a couple of kilometres away from finishing the southern, hillier side of this circuit. And we hit this climb called the Dollywood, or Dollywood. Depends where you're from in Wales, I suppose, and how you pronounce it. And this was probably my most favourite climb of the whole day. It had hairpins. It has steep gradients. It had fantastic views off to the right and to the left. Well, depending on which hairpin you were going around, of course. And it led us on to a lane at the very top, I think. So we had two choices. We could either stick to the main quote-unquote road, which would take us to the top a lot quicker, but have slightly less elevation. Or we could take this rather rough-looking, kind of like a farm track that would take us up to the top, a slightly different way, slightly longer way, but definitely a steeper way. Now, bearing in mind what we tackled so far, I felt like going for the steepest option. I mean, like, how hard could it be?
Tell you what, when you do elevation like this in a short space of time, it completely resets your, I don't know, your climbing meter. You're like, what you think is a hilly ride is not, when you actually search for hills, accumulate what we've done. It's mental.
Yeah, well, we from home, if we hit 2,000 metres of climbing on a 100-mile ride, we're like, bloody hell, that was a
Yeah. Whoa!
After almost succumbing to wheel spin on another 2.5k climb at 10%. Are you getting the theme here? I mean, I don't know how else I can explain this at this point in this video. Like, every single climb was at least 2 kilometers long. I mean, at least 1.5 to 2 kilometers long at 10% or above. So every time you were climbing 200 to 300 meters. And I know what people are going to say. They're going to say, come to the Alps, we climb more than that. Yes, I understand. I've ridden in quite hilly places. But there's something about the relentlessness of the steepness in succession of these climbs, and UK roads are known to be hard roads, as in just hard on your body, not like good tarmac, not like good traction, things like that. It's just hard riding in the UK. But to top off the first 60 kilometers and to descend back into Llangollen, we came down the other side of y Gwenant, which is a huge descent. 1.7k, negative 13%. If you ever come up this climb, I'm sure lots of you in the area are familiar with it. It is a beast, but you also get some spectacular views from this descent as well.
That is genuinely, it's like you're dropping off the edge of the world.
It's insane, isn't it?
Oh wow, I don't know which side of this route I prefer, the south loop or the north loop. We've just turned onto the north loop, and so Llangollen is your base for this ride. Everything you need is there really, and you pass through it after about 60 kilometers of the 100k. Perfect chance to refuel or whatever you need. It's like totally different climbs on the north loop, like almost more to what I'm used to. Picturesque lanes, not necessarily as steep. The bulk of the climbing comes on that southern loop, the first loop, where we climbed 2,000 meters in virtually no time at all, like 2.5 hours. But this side is a bit more sightseeing going on. So far, my favourite side.
Now, for the eagle-eyed viewer, you might have noticed that one of us is on an e-bike. Now, before you start typing away in the comments, this is the first time I've ridden with somebody on an e-bike, and I have to say that I was incredibly impressed. Like, the amount of power required to get up these climbs regardless is significant, and for Nick's dad, Paul, to have a little bit of an assistance so that he could ride with us for at least like 75% of this route, then that's a massive like positive in my book. Like, to get people on bikes to enjoy the outdoors and to smash rides like this in this situation is awesome. It just brings people together. After a quick cafe stop for an Americano and Coca-Cola and some cake, Nick and myself headed out to do the final 30 or so kilometers and probably the most scenic part of this whole route.
There's Nick dancing his way up the old shoe. Last little bit to climb here, but we've done almost 3,000 meters in 4 hours. We got 21 kilometers left to ride. I'm not gonna lie, it's a savage route in more ways than one. The old shoe, one of the hardest climbs on this route, no doubt about that. Brings back memories. Last time I was up here, last Silcom Champs in October last year. Oh, but we're here at the top. No, it's epic. Fair play. Perfect timing. 99.4k. We are nearly done. Nearly 99.5. Here's the end. Woo! You won the sprint for the sign there. Fair play. Well done.
Well done, mate.
Flipping heck.
What a day.
So we got to stop.
Yeah.
An end.
Stop, save, end, yeah.
Careful, slow everything down.
Yeah.
And there we have it, everybody. Almost 3,500 meters of elevation gain in under 100 kilometers. Thank you so much for watching this whole video right the way through. I really appreciate it. Thank you to Nick and Paul again for the hospitality and a great route. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you next time.